Yes. Just wait. I'm starting recording. Okay. So once it is started, we'll start. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. So, in the previous class, we have talked about basic electronics. We talked about what is electronics, what is electricity. We have understood about conductors. We have understood about insulators. Then this voltage difference or potential difference or voltage drop that we have studied. Okay, and then we have talked about electrical energy, how these electrons are used to deliver power. That also we have studied. Okay, so what is meaning of the power? The equation for power that we have seen. Okay, and then in order to flow that electrons, and then we should ensure that it should be arrive at particular destination. That means the load in this case. Okay, so how do we ensure that? We have already seen. Okay, then how do we supply electrical energy? So DC, that is direct current or alternating current, that we have talked about. So DC, nothing but your batteries. Okay, and AC is that is your alternating current. Okay, so that which comes from power plant or generation plant. Okay, which comes in your home. Okay, that is our alternating current. Then I've talked about transforming light into electricity. Okay, so this is another example, that is calculator is powered with the photovoltaic cells or PV cells that we have seen. Then symbols of these powers. Okay, like battery symbols and AC power source symbols, photovoltaic cell symbols that we have seen. What electronics again can do, that we have already talked about. We have given few of the examples related to that. Okay, so creating a good vibration, seeing is a believing, that is TV remote. We have taken it examples, and sensing, alarming. I have given one examples to that also. What are the controlling motions? So robotic system, aircraft, spacecraft, elevators, where electronics parts are used. Okay, and computing also, voice, video, and data communication. Up to this much we have studied so far. Okay, now in this class we have talked about how do we control the electrical current. So we will start to this now. What are the types of components they are? What are the types of components are there? Okay, that we will going to discuss. Okay, so the first component which I would like to take is the resistance. Okay, or resistor. Okay, so how do we can control? Okay, how do we control the current? Okay, electrical current. Okay, so as in the first class I told you about that. What is electronics? Electronics is nothing but the controlling. Electronics is nothing but the switching. Electronics is nothing but the changing the directions. Okay, so like examples we have taken is that dimmer. Okay, so how we can control the current so that the light, or you can say that bulb will either it will be glow at low intensity to the high intensity. Okay, so that was so. So many electronics components can help in controlling the electrical energy in that particular circuits. Okay, so many electronics components are there, but the most popular electronic component is like resistor. Okay, so what is resistor? So resistor is used to restrict the current flow. Okay, resistor is used to restrict the current flow. So this is one of the example. Okay, then capacitors. So capacitors which stores the electrical energy. Okay, this is also one of the electronic component. Okay, resistor which resists the current flow, capacitor which stores the electrical energy, inductor and transformer. Okay, and these are the two devices. Okay, which again helps us to store the electrical energy in terms of magnetic fields. Okay, so inductor, transformer are the device that stores electrical energy in terms of magnetic field. Okay, the next component is a diode. So diodes are used to restrict current flow in one direction. Okay, so if you see the diodes, okay, so diode is usually used for, you can say, whenever there is a restrictions or whenever there is a current flow. So when we talked about diode, that time you can understand. So characteristics of diodes that you can understand. Okay, so diodes, if you analog that diode with the help of your valve. Okay, so how the water flow is there in the pipes. Okay, so diode acts as that valve. Okay, while transistors are, you can say, used for switching your circuits, like it can be either on, it can be either off. Okay, so this is what the use of transistor. Okay, so transistors are used for switching purpose, and also it can be used for your amplification purpose. Okay, So when we talk about transistor, so transistor generally acts for the amplifier. Okay, amplifier, or you can say it can be used for switching also. Okay, then we have integrated circuits also. This is also one of the one of the electronic components that we have. Okay, so integrated circuits, which contains, you can say, multiple of discrete devices or discrete components. Okay, so if you talk about any integrated circuit or IC, in short form we can talk it as an IC. So in IC is nothing but made up of several discrete components. Okay, discrete in terms of digital components. Okay, that is what my meaning is. So integrated circuits contain multiple of discrete components and they are packed inside. Okay, so that we call it as integrated. So integrated circuits. Okay, and why, what is the use of integrated circuits? They are able to control the current in variety of ways. Okay, depending upon that particular ICs. Okay, depending upon that particular ICs. Okay, again we have this so like component, electronics component, like switches, we have sensors. Okay, and other parts, it also plays an important roles in the circuit. Okay, got it. So these are the basic electronics components, and that way we'll going to study in the next couple of months. Okay, so yes. Okay, so next we will talk about, okay, so we'll start with the resistor first. Okay, so what is resistance? Okay, so for example, if you toss a stone or marble. Okay, so uh, if you take a stone, okay, and then you can throw it on the surface. Okay, if you throw that marble, or if you throw that stone, okay, particular stone on the surface. Okay, so what happens, it will not go that much of the length. Okay, it will not go that much of the distance. Okay, but the same stone, if you throw on the river, okay, on the river, okay, in this fashion, okay, so what it happens, it will start jumping and it will goes in more distance. Okay, लाईकवाईज आपण दगड फेकला, पाण्यावरती फेकतो, त्यानंतर ते काय होतं, दगड उडत उडत जातो आणि तो लॉंग डिस्टन्स कव्हर करतो. ओके, whereas if you throw a same stone on the surface, okay, on the surface or soil surface, okay, so it will not go in that much of the distance. Okay, if you compare this two, so this is what the definition of resistance. Okay, this is what the definition of resistance. Okay, so, or you can say resistance means the friction. If we consider this particular example, so we talk about the friction. Why this one stone which is on the river, which goes too much distance? Okay, because of less friction is available over there. Okay, whereas if you see that the same stone is thrown on the surface, okay, soil surface, it will not cover that much distance, so much friction is there. Okay, much friction is there. So resistance in electronics is like friction in the mechanical system. Resistance in electronics is like a friction in the mechanical system. Okay, so it puts a brakes on electrons. Okay, so when we talk about the flow, when you talk about the current, when you talk about flow, okay, so flow of electrons. Okay, so it cuts or it breaks the flow of electron. It breaks the flow of electrons. Okay, so we'll see what is meaning of this resistance. Okay, and how this resistance is important or advantageous. Okay, how is important or advantageous. Okay, so as you can see that in this PPT, so resistance are the devices that limit current in the circuit. Okay, and they also can use for voltage divider, filters, amplifying circuits. Okay, so if we have amplifier circuits also, there also there it useful. Okay, it useful. Okay, now when we coming back to the resistance, okay, so we have seen two types of we have seen the material like uh, uh, conductor we have seen. Okay, what is conductor? So conductor is a material that allows current to flow. Okay, what is insulator? Insulator is a material that does not allow to flow, that does not allow to current to flow. Okay, that we have already seen. Okay, so conductor, it allows conduction. Okay, insulator does not allow conduction. Okay, so good conductors allows current to flow with, you can say, very high range. Okay, or you can say without any resistance. Okay, good conductors allows current to flow with huge, without any impediments or without any resistance. Okay, for example, good conductors like copper or aluminum, okay, they does not they have some small resistance, okay, they have some small resistance, but as compared to other materials, other conductors, they have good conductors, okay, they have good conductions, or you can say they are the excellent conductors. Even carbon also there, okay, so carbon is also an excellent conductor, okay. So on the other hand, if you talk about insulator, okay, so insulator which does not conduct. So what are the examples of insulators? Like glass we have, like Teflon we have, or you can say a plastic we have, okay, these are the examples of insulator. So we have seen conductor, we have seen insulator, okay, okay, we have seen conductor, we have seen insulator, okay. Now a conducting material such as carbon, if we take a conducting material such as carbon, and when we mix that conducting material, or you can say when we mix that carbon along with the ceramic, what happens? Okay, so carbon is the conductor, ceramic is the insulator, okay, that means carbons allows you to conduct the current flow, okay, and ceramic does not allows you conduct the electronic flow, okay, electron flow. Ceramic means like your cup, okay, so your cups are like they are not able to, you can say they are not able to conduct the current, okay, they are not able to conduct the current. So if you mix these two components, okay, if you mix these two components like a ceramic and carbon, what happens? What happens? So if you see the conducting or conducting material such as carbon, okay, so if you mix maximum of the carbon, okay, so that what happens, that the resistance of the mixture is low, okay, because carbon is used to conduct, usually conducts, okay. So if you add these two materials such as one conductor, one insulator, and if you add you can say abundant amount of conductor, or you can say if you mix mostly the carbon, the overall resistance of that particular mixture is low, okay. And on the other hand, if you mix mostly the ceramic, okay, so if you are adding carbon and ceramic, if the percentage of ceramic is more, then you can say that the resistance is high, because ceramic is insulator, they does not allow to conduct any electronic flow or any current flow, okay. But all the material have some resistance, okay, these things you need to understand. All the resistance have uh, 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 all the resistance all the material have some resistance, okay. Likewise, even if you talk about carbon, even if you take about aluminum, okay, so they have some small amount of resistance, okay, that you need to understand, okay, okay. So resistance, when we talk about resistance, okay, so resistance is measured in terms of ohm, okay, resistance is measured in terms of ohm. This is what the symbol, okay, this is your in the Greek letters it is called as omega, okay, this is what the symbol for resistance, okay, symbol for resistance is measured in terms of ohm, okay. What is the standard definition of 1 ohm? So the standard definition of 1 ohm is the amount of resistance required to allow 1 ampere of current to flow when 1 volt of voltage is applied to the circuit. I'm reading this definition again. Okay, what is the standard definition of 1 ohm? Okay, the amount of resistance required to allow 1 ampere of current to flow when 1 volt of voltage is applied to a circuit. Okay, so if you not understand this, so in other words, I can say that if you connected 1 ohm resistance or 1 ohm resistor across the terminal of 1 volt battery, okay, so you have 1 volt battery, you have 1 ohm resistance. When you connect 1 ohm resistor across the terminal of 1 volt battery, 1 ampere of current flow through the resistor, okay, 1 ampere of current flows through the resistor, okay. But there is a condition, unless it is rated that at least 1 watt, okay. And if you think of single ohm, what is meaning of this 1 ohm? Okay, so 1 ohm is very small amount of resistance, okay, very small amount of resistance. So electronic circuit usually call for resistance in terms of 100, okay, that means 100 resistance or 132 resistance, 98 ohm resistance, okay. Likewise, or they can be used like a thousands of resistance like 1.47, 1.4 kilo ohm resistors, likewise, or even millions of ohm, Okay, so single ohm is very small amount of resistance. Electronic circuit usually use resistance in terms of hundreds, in terms of thousands, in terms of even millions of ohm. Okay, got this point? Okay, now the unit of ohm. Unit of ohm is name given after the German physicist. Okay, that is, his name is George Ohm. Okay, so George Ohm, who is the first person who explained about the relationship between voltage, current, and resistance. Okay, so George Ohm, who explained about the relationship between voltage, current, and resistance. Okay, that too in the year of 1827, and then he has given his own name to the unit of resistance, that is ohm. Okay, ohm. Okay, so ohm name comes from the physicist, that is German physicist George Ohm. Okay, and he has explained about the relationship between the voltage, current, and resistance. Okay, okay, now we understood the basics of resistor or resistance. Okay, what is resistance or what is resistance? Now the question is that what determines how much resistance is there? What determines how much resistance is there? So we know, we have seen that how do we create a resistance? We can create a resistance if we add one is a conducting material, another one is insulating material, that we can do. Okay, because it will, if we add mostly the conducting material, the resistance is low. If we add most insulating material, the resistance is high. Okay, now the question arises that what determines how much resistance an object is. Okay, that we can see in this next PPT. So the material, okay, so resistance depends upon several factor. Resistance depends upon several factor. Okay, so what are those factors? The number one factor is material. What kind of materials you are using? Okay, so if you take some materials, okay, which allows the electrons to free, means electrons to roam freely. Okay, they can move freely, easily they can move. Okay, so that kind of material. Okay, otherwise the other kind of materials that in that material the electrons are not move freely, or they cannot roam freely, or the electrons, that materials holds the tight of this electrons. Okay, tight of these electrons. Just you can consider the how strongly a specific material opposes the flow of electrons, which determines the resistivity. So what is resistivity? Resistivity is nothing but a property of that particular material that reflects its chemical structure. Okay, so conductors have a relatively low resistivity, whereas insulators have relatively high resistivity. Okay, so conductors have low resistivity and insulators have high resistivity. Okay, so this is one of the factor which depends upon which depends. Okay, so resistance is depends upon one of the factors. So material is one of the factor, or you can say resistivity of that material is one of the factor. The second factor is cross sectional area. Okay, so cross sectional area, so what is that cross sectional area? So resistance varies inversely to the cross sectional area. For example, if we have a larger the diameter of that particular material or resistor, okay, the easier is the electrons to move. Okay, that means it allows low resistance for the electronic movement. Okay, electrons movement. Okay, even you can think of that water flowing through a pipe. Okay, that analogy I have started. Okay, so water flowing through a pipe. So if we have a wider the pipe, okay, so if we have wide pipe, that means the easier water is flowing. Okay, easier water is flowing. So that analogy you can understand. Even copper wire with large diameter has a lower resistance. Okay, has lower resistance. The second factor or third factor is length. Okay, so length is also one of the important factor when we talk about a resistance, when we talk about a resistance value. So if we have a longer the material, okay, longer the material, more resistance it has. Okay, longer the material, more resistance it has. Why it is there? Because the electrons have more opportunity to go from one particle to another particles, or you can say that the resistance varies directly with the length. Okay, the next factor, which is important factor, that is temperature. That is temperature. So for most material, higher is the temperature, higher is the resistance. Okay, higher is the temperature means the particle inside that particular material have more amount of energy. Okay, or you can say more amount of energy, or they start more amount of electronic flow. Okay, so for example, if we have if you take about thermistor, so increase the temperature of the thermistor, it will lowers the resistance. Okay, so you have a thermistor, that is one device is there, okay, which allows you to measure the temperature. Okay, this is one of the example. So the resistance depends upon several factors. Okay, the metal, sorry, you can say the material, it can be depends upon the cross sectional area, it can be depends upon the length, or it can be depends upon the temperature. Okay, the next, now in this figure you can see that the image of the resistor. So these are the different types of resistors are there. So resistors are the passive electronic components. Okay, resistors are the passive electronic component that are specifically designed to provide controlled amount of resistance. Okay, so what are the resistors and why they are used for? So resistors are you can say passive electronic component. Okay, and they are specifically designed to provide control amount of resistance. Okay, however, the resistor can also be used to control the amount of voltage also. Okay, that's why in this earlier slides I have given that resistors can be used to limit the current in that particular circuit, or they can be used to limit the voltage. Okay, they can be used for limit the voltage, or voltage divider, which I have written here. Okay, so next, that we can see that what resistors are used for. So number one is number one is limiting current. Okay, so you can see that in this particular figure. Okay, so the circuit has been given, that is it has a 6-volt battery, and then we have connected here 470 volt sorry 470 ohm resistor, and then LED is connected. Okay, so closer conducting path is there. Okay, so 6-volt battery. Okay, and then we have LED, and then we have a resistor. So what is LED? So LED, like many other electronics components, okay, it uses or it takes a current. Okay, for example, so small kids, okay, how they eat the chocolates. Okay, how they eat the chocolates. So as much you can give, that much they can eat. As much you can give, that much they can eat. So it's like the same LED is also work. Okay, so but your LED run into a problem when it draws too much of the current. Okay, so many times if you can observe that whenever you give more voltage, okay, or if the value of resistance is less, okay, that times your LED will damage. Okay, your LED will damage. So too much current can destroy many sensitive electronics components, such as you can say transistors or integrated circuits. So in the next in your syllabus, when we discuss about this transistors, or you can say IC, that time we can discuss about this. Okay, so how to avoid the damage of this electronics component? Okay, we can avoid the damage of this electronics components by simply adding a electronic component, that is resistors. Okay, that is resistor. By putting a resistor at the input to this part, it can limit the current. Okay, it can limit that particular current. That's why here we have added 470 ohm resistor. That's why we have added here 470 ohm resistor. Okay, but what happens if you now if this value 470 ohm, if I add this value to mega ohm, okay, that is 1 mega ohm resistor. If I add, so what will happen, whether your bulb will glow or not? Okay, so in this case also your bulb will go, or your LED will glow, but that you are not able to see that. Okay, that you are not able to see, because what happens if you increase that particular resistance value, okay, you will limit that much current, so you won't see that particular light or LED will glow, but it is glowed. Okay, but it is glowed. Now the second usage of resistor is you can say reducing the voltage. Okay, so resistor can be used to reduce the supply voltage. to a different parts of the circuits. Okay, for instance, or for example, if you say that 9-volt battery, if we see here that we have at input side, we have a 9-volt battery. Also, we have two resistors which are kept like 12K and 15 kilo ohm. Okay, so two resistors we have added here. Okay, now you need to provide 5 volts to power for a particular integrated circuit. Okay, so you can set up a circuit like this way, which used to divide the voltage in a way that it produces a 5 volts. Okay, you have to make calculations so that at the output, at V out, if you measure the V out or voltage across this terminal V out, you can find out that the voltage at this V out is 5 volt. Okay, so you can understand that resistance or resistor acts as a voltage divider here also. Okay, that's why I have given it as a voltage divider. Okay, now we need to see what type of resistors we have. Okay, so resistors like we have a fixed type of resistor and we have a variable type of resistor. Okay, so what does mean by fixed type of resistor? So both fixed type, or you can say variable type resistors, are used in the electronic circuit. Okay, so what is fixed type of resistor? Fixed type of resistor supply a constant factory determined resistance. Okay, so it will provide a constant voltage. Okay, it will provide a constant resistance. Okay, constant resistance, the resistance which is given by the manufacturer, it will use that particular fixed value. Okay, that is what the meaning, fixed resistors. Okay, and you will use it when you want to restrict current to that particular range, or if you want to divide that voltage. So we have seen that resistors are used for current limiting or for voltage divider also. Okay, so fixed type of resistors, it can be used. Okay, so in the earlier case, we have seen that circuit with LED which uses a fixed type of resistance. Okay, fixed type of resistance. What is variable type of resistance? So variable type of resistance, commonly known as a potentiometer, or generally in short form we can talk it as pot. Okay, so variable type of resistors allows you to adjust the resistance from, you can say, virtually we can take it from a 0 ohm to whatever that particular variable resistor value is. For example, we have a variable resistor of, let's take 100 k. Okay, 100 kilo ohm. So it will start, we can adjust that resistance value from 0 ohm to, let's say, 100 kilo ohm. Okay, that will be the final value. So final value depends upon the what kind of variable resistors we can take. So now in this case, you can use potentiometer if you want to vary the amount of current, or if you want to vary the amount of voltage that you are supplying to any of the electrical circuit. Okay, so few examples we have seen that in terms of your dimmer. Okay, in terms of your dimmer. So in the earlier case, your voltage regulators are there, fan regulators are there. So what you can do, that you can move that particular knob and then your speed of that fan will be controlled. Okay, so this is one of the example of variable resistors. Okay, this is one of the example of variable resistors. Okay, so these are the symbols which I have shown it here for your fixed type of resistors. Okay, so it's like a zigzag line. Okay, that is what your resistor basically. Then we have a potentiometer where there is one arrow is there. So it is assumed that if when you vary that particular arrow, so your value of that potentiometer or value of that particular resistor will vary. Okay, and then the third symbol that is used for the rheostat. Okay, so rheostat. So these are the again one of the variable resistance. Okay, so as I told you about the fixed resistor, which supplies a constant, or you can say factory determined resistance. So whatever the value that is given by that resistance, okay, resistor, that will be the same, or it will provide a same or fixed value. Okay, again there are two categories of fixed resistors, okay, that I have mentioned here. Okay, so fixed resistor, so one is a standard precision resistor. Okay, and that standard precision resistor can vary from 2% to 20% of their nominal values. Okay, so if you have a 100 ohm resistance, okay, 100 ohm resistance. Okay, now if you want to measure its value, so it can vary from 2% to 20%. Okay, it can vary from 2% to 20%. That is what the standard precision resistor. Okay, other type of fixed resistor is high precision resistor. Okay, so its value, or you can say its nominal value, can vary from only 1% of you can say change will be there. Okay, and the resistance image that I have shown it here, okay, it is like a fixed resistor. You can measure its value with the help of either a color code. Okay, color code combinations are there, which is there in the next PPT, or you can directly use the multimeter. So here in this diagram you can see that there are two this is what your resistor is there, and then we have two electrodes from your multimeter, and they are we have just plugged it here, and then we can able to measure what is the value of resistance here in this case. Okay, so fixed resistor. Okay, so if you consider that that is standard precision resistor, so it can vary from 2% to 20%. Okay, so example like 100 ohm, if I take 100 ohm resistance, or you can say 1000 ohm resistance we will take, and then we can understand that it has a 5% of tolerance. What is that meaning? Tolerance meaning, so if you measure that actual resistance, so you will get resistance value from 950 ohm. Okay, if we consider that for 1000 ohm, so we can get the value from 950 ohm to 1050 ohm. Okay, because it has a 5%. So 5% of 1000 is your 50. Okay, 5% of 1000 is your 50. So you may say that the resistance is of 1000 ohm, which gives around, or which has a 5% of tolerance. Okay, which can be 5% of tolerance. So standard precision resistance, so 2% to 20%. Okay, so for instance, it can have a 2%, or it can have 5% of tolerance, it can have 10% of tolerance, 15% of tolerance, or 20% of tolerance. Okay, that is again specified by the manufacturer. That is again specified by the manufacturer, or the that color code combinations is also always there. Okay, and yes, so in yes, so you can see in this particular diagram. Okay, so this is what a standard precision resistor, and then you can see that this particular band. So it has 5 bands. Okay, so sometimes it may have 4 bands also. Okay, so so if the fourth band is not there, that means there is that tolerance rating is not there. Okay, so first band, second band, third band, and fourth band. Okay, so these are the first 3 bands are important, and the fourth band is used for the multiplier. Okay, and then the fifth band is used for the tolerance. Fifth band is used for the tolerance. Yes, 12 elements. So standard precision resistors. Okay, so first band gives us a first digit. Okay, second band gives us a second digit. Third band gives us a that is third digit. Okay, and then we have this multiplier. Along with this fifth band we have, okay, along with this we have a fifth band. So that tolerance band is not given. If there is no that particular band, so you can assume that it has a tolerance of, you can say, 20%. Okay, this is what the standard is there. So yes, so I think I will stop here. Okay, so in the next class I will give you an example of this, how do we calculate this particular resistance. Okay, I will repeat these bands again, and then in next class we can take that. Okay, so any doubt is there? Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.